Fam, what's going on? Could I get a roll tide inside the comment box? What's going on? Kyle Henderson, Bama football on YouTube. Today is Wednesday, September 4th, 2024. We in week 2 of the college football season. Patrick Surtain just got paid. You see that? And Patrick Surtain, one of my favorite players here at the University of Alabama. I mean, when you think about great DBs, right? Guys who came here and then went on to the NFL, did their job. I mean, you guys talking about it right now. Type P inside the comment box right now for Patrick Surtain as we get the show going. The Broncos and first team All-Pro pick cornerback Patrick Surtain has agreed to a massive 4-year deal, $96 million contract extension, $77 million guaranteed. Oh, Patrick Surtain just got paid. Man, that's good. But if you're a Denver Broncos fan, are you happy overall? I don't know. I don't know. You got some NFL this week. Tomorrow night, you got the Chiefs taking on Baltimore. All right, so I appreciate you guys being here. Patrick Surtain, absolute baller. Today in the show, we got the Alabama defense. I want to give some praise to the defense. I think in today's world of grass basketball, we got to talk about the defense. We're going to talk about the left tackle position. I don't think Kane Proctor is going to play this weekend. I think you guys aren't shocked to hear that. I don't think there's really a need to play him. I think that South Florida is going to be much better than Western Kentucky. Not trying to scare anyone. I just think they are. Last year's last year. This year's this year. Alex Golesh is a good head football coach. We're going to talk about Red Morgan a little bit as we continue to throw a little shade at Florida State. I don't know. I can't stop. Saban Field. The dedication will take place this Saturday. Yo, by the way, did you see it's cooling down a little bit. I think the low for Saturday is going to be like 56 or something like that. Man, we're going to bring your parkas. That's a 50-degree drop for us. I'm going to take some calls, too, on the back end of the show. Kyle Henderson, Bama Football on YouTube. I appreciate you guys here. If you guys are listening on Spotify, thank you very much. I'll do my best to describe the graphics that I have on the show. So just before I was rolling onto my show, yesterday, if you caught the back end of the show, I was a little hot yesterday, right? Couple things before I get to point number 1. What's up, Anthony? I see you inside the comment box. Max, Brent, Kevin, Sweet Home, JS Webb, Southern Red, Amanda, Jamie, Angel. What's going on? So yesterday, on the back end of the show, I froze. Did you see that? Yo, the internet, you have internet problems, it just happens. And it happens at I run an internet business clearly, so I need internet. So on the back end of the show, it froze. So I had to go recut the show, blah, blah, blah. Not a big deal. Not the first time I've dealt with internet problems, I promise you. So then, but I was a little high yesterday. I won a couple of little rants, and one of them I was talking about Jalen Milroe. And I was saying, for all the haters, you guys are wasting air, blah, blah. I was reading the comments this morning inside the comment box. And it got people riled up. And people were like, yo, you need to stop supporting Jalen Milroe so much. And why are you his biggest fan? Truth be told, the Jalen Milroe camp, his dad, after the SEC championship game, he completely yelled at me. He was mad at me. He was cussing at me. It was crazy. I'm serious. There's people at the SEC championship that saw it. And you're like, what? I've never said anything bad about Jalen Milroe. I think people have tried to say that I said bad stuff about him. I didn't. It's about the call-in show. When I have the call-in show, anybody can call in and say what they want about the show. That's what's good about the show. You don't like something that's happening with the team, go ahead. I promise you. I've never said anything bad about Jalen Milroe. I've always been in his camp. All right? So I believe in the kid and his abilities. I think he's going to win the Heisman. I think that he leads Alabama to a national championship. The play that he had last night, light work, it was incredible. The dude accounted for 5 touchdowns. So for everybody that wants to continue to hate on the young man, you're wasting your space. He's the best quarterback on this team. He's one of the best in college football. Anybody out there in college football would be lucky to have somebody of that caliber, not from only an athletic standpoint, but for an ambassador of their brand and their program. Dude is completely class. Hell of a leader for the team. Hell of a leader. Well, I appreciate you guys being here. One of the things that I wanted to, and the other thing, before I was getting on the show, the internet cut out of my house. And I was like, what the hell? So I go down to the garage. That's where the broadband is. And so for all you electricians out there, all of the outlets in the garage, none of them are working. None of them. But the garage goes up. So I think it might be a GFI issue. So I'm running a long extension cord from the broadband to my house. So whatever, we get through it. If Alabama can get through headset communication malfunctions or whatever they had to deal with, we can get through this, right? Not a big deal. 113 on the show. I appreciate you guys. Remember to hit the thumbs up, like, subscribe. Ways to support Bama football on YouTube. You can become a fan funder inside the comment box. The super chat goes a long way. Simple thumbs up. If you're listening out there on Spotify, Bama_YouTube on Venmo. Just like tips. I appreciate it. But thumbs up goes a long way. I wanted to lead off talking about the Alabama defense. I posted on Facebook today. I'm on Facebook, TikTok, all those places. Reset the breaker GFI reset. All right, thanks, Mac G. I appreciate it. I'll definitely check that out. I think that it's going to be an easy fix. But it was like literally right before the show. It was like 10 minutes ago. In this world of grass basketball, it's hard to post a shutout. I get it. It's Western Kentucky. It's, TJ Finley, he's not good. And in fact, I think Western Kentucky should play the other quarterback, Caden Veltkamp. That he's the guy. TJ Finley's not it. But Western Kentucky, with that said, they were in the red zone a couple of times against Alabama. One time they missed a field goal. Alabama was able to force turnovers. I loved what Coach Kane Wommack said following the game when he was talking about his defense, that he's not satisfied. And when you look to the Alabama defense, it was interesting because they only had one sack, which came from Q-Rob, right? You had your two turnovers, but he wanted turnovers for scores. He wasn't satisfied. And I started thinking, I was like, you know what? And I've said this before. If you want to win over Alabama fans, you recruit really well at the highest level, which Coach Kalen DeBoer, Courtney Morgan, his staff is doing. They're ranked number 2 right now in all your recruiting services. But during the season, along with just winning games, if you play sound defense, if you play elite defense, you win over the fans. Alabama fans are accustomed to great defense. Coach Saban's a defensive-minded guy. Kalen DeBoer known for his offense. But for Kane to come over here and restructure the defense with the 4-2-5, there was a lot of question marks going into the season about the defense. We said that more pressure would be on Coach Kane Wommack because he's changing the defense. He doesn't have a lot of corners that have played together. Now he does have the guys, and we saw them against Western Kentucky in the secondary, and they fared very well. But man, for them to come out here, they only allowed 42 yards rushing. I get it. I mean, Western Kentucky's trying to throw the ball, but I mean, look, they didn't even get 150 yards passing. They had 2 turnovers in the first quarter. How about this? You have to get off the field on third down, right? You have to make the other team. There were 3 of 18 on third downs. And at times it felt like Western Kentucky had the football forever. I love the fact that he said we're not satisfied. Okay, 63-0, job's not done. Who said that? Kobe. Job's not done. Why aren't you happy, Kobe? Job's not done. It's one game. Job's not done. Get back to work. I noticed, and I know you noticed as well, the team speed on defense. Of course, offensive guys are going to be fast. All the best players, right? Even according to Coach Saban, play on the offense. Yo, this defense was fast. I noticed they were fast from the first two possessions. The first possession, I was like, oh man, they're fast. The second one and the rest of the game, I was like, these guys are fast. Really fast. Great team speed. I would love to know which guys are running over 20 miles an hour on the defensive side, but I can guess myself. Even the way that the guys in the defensive line, like Jaheim Otis and Tim Keenan, I even thought they were fast. I'm serious. They were flying. Man, they were fast. Got to play defense. Even when you have an offense as high caliber as Alabama. And this is the other thing. Usually, when you have an offense that can score like that, 33 seconds, 42 seconds, under a minute, whatever it is, you have the defense out on the field. They're tired. They're gassed. You know, they're going to allow a big play. This team didn't. The defense didn't in the small data points that we have. They were out there for a long time. So I love that point. Really fast. I have to talk more about Jahad Campbell and Deontay Lawson. That combo at inside backer is crazy. Quay Russo, man, what a game he had. And then James Smith, man, shoot. That guy's ultra talented. This game allowed Alabama on each side of the ball to get in a lot of different guys. Let me ask you something, Undefeated. There's been a lot of things that Coach Kalen DeBoer has done different than Coach Saban. Not that one thing's good or one thing's, better than the other. These are just a couple things that have been different to me, okay? Number one, it seemed like he played a ton more guys in the first game. Coach Saban would kind of, he would play his guys. He wouldn't run up the score, but he would kind of get you in a chokehold and keep the starters on the field. You didn't see a lot of, now you saw some freshmen play for sure, but not like this. The rotation that we saw was completely different. The other thing, he lets you talk to the offensive coordinator and the defensive coordinator, right, before the week. That's never been done. It's just Coach Saban, or it was, at the podium. The other thing is, how about this? The reporters were able to talk to a freshman after the first game. That was like forbidden. And I think a lot of this, like the emptying the bench, I wonder myself, yeah, you got to get a lot of these guys reps, but I kind of like it from make these guys feel a part of the team. In the past, when you started to have the transfer portal come up, you saw guys starting to complain on social media that they weren't happy or whatever, or posting ambiguous messages on social media that they didn't feel a part of the team. And then that leads them for other programs to slide into their DMs and be like, yo, like Iowa did to Caden Proctor. Now that you're playing all these guys, they feel a part of the team. I think it's a really good move because you get these guys to feel a part of the team. You build continuity. You keep these guys from predators inside the transfer portal. Just my take. Max Tooney, I appreciate you, man. Thanks for being here. North Alabama, what's going on? Alex, yeah, I think that's the number, 19 freshmen. And we highlighted like 5 or 6 of them that, were kind of the standout freshmen, but that's a lot. Almost 20 freshmen. Almost everybody played. Just 1 sack. I mean, that'll change, but those are the stats. And that was from Q-Rob. I appreciate you guys being here. Kyle Henderson, Bama Football on YouTube. The whole setup today, this is from the student store on each of these items are. This one's by what is the place down like the Ferg Center, the Ferg. This one's from the Ferg, and then this one's by Bryant-Denny Stadium. The Crimson top. Patrick Sims, what's up, man? I appreciate the super chat. Super chat is basically a tip to the publisher. I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. It goes a long way. Feels like nobody is talking much about the number of batted balls on the D-line. Those guys were batting balls down every few throws. Yeah, and that's why I bring up like a player like James Smith. I think he had 3 batted balls himself. That's important. I saw a lot of that too in the LSU USC game. If you're in the trenches and you're a defensive lineman, you got to get those big paws up, right? Create something in those throwing lanes. I definitely saw that, though. Jonathan, what's up? Good morning to you. I appreciate you being here. D-Lo King, what's up, man? I appreciate you. D-Lo King saying, I can't wait to see Richard Young play. More beautiful. We don't hear you talk about him as much. You know, in the opportunities that he got a little stuffed up. I think Western Kentucky played their best defense when Richard Young came into play. Daniel Hill and Kevin Riley also getting opportunities. All right, let's move on to point number 2 and talk about the offensive line depth chart without Caden Proctor. Look, it hasn't been official. I think Coach Kalen DeBoer has to make an announcement tomorrow. I don't think he's going to play based on what I hear. Caden Proctor, I'm sure you've seen it. It's a shoulder injury. You look up shoulder injury, there's a variety of shoulder injuries that could happen. I'm even battling a shoulder injury right now. I have a doctor's appointment at 12, okay? So there you go. My shoulder, it's my left shoulder. And I hopefully it's just a muscle strain, and I'm hoping that there's nothing more serious. So I appreciate, the positive thoughts and prayers. All right. Yes, I got my workout in this morning. Absolutely. But I didn't do any push-ups or anything. I modified just all legs. I don't know what the shoulder injury is regarding Caden Proctor. People are throwing out different things. Good morning, Ronald. I don't know what it is. I don't think he's going to play this Saturday. And Jonathan's saying it was dislocated. That's what some people are saying. Coach Kalen DeBoer said it was something that they could manage. I don't know. He didn't really go into detail, and he doesn't have to. Now, Alabama released some photos yesterday from their football practice. You can watch it on Instagram or on Roll Tide. If you're a fan out there, you can check out those photos. They didn't really show who was working at left tackle, but there's kind of a theory out there that say it could be even Tyler Booker could be getting reps at left tackle. That's something that's out there. I don't know. This is how I would imagine what you see the offensive line look like on Saturday against South Florida. Another super chat up in the house from Patriot Life. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate the super chats. Kevin, thank you so much, man. And Patriot Life as well, helping to support the show. Thank you. I really appreciate it, honestly. Thank you. But I think when the guys run out on the field, it'll look like Elijah Pritchett, Tyler Booker, Parker Brailsford, Jaden Robertson, Will Formby. And look, Elijah Pritchett was going to be the left tackle if Caden Proctor didn't come in. Now, I know Pritchett's been in the news for a lot of different off-the-field stuff. Never going to judge anybody, period, especially somebody young in their life, right? No one is perfect. Not that you condone some of these things that they do, but, hopefully they learn and they use them as opportunities to be a mentor to somebody else who's younger than them, right? I could see Tyler Booker maybe. Look, if it is serious enough to where Caden Proctor, has to miss a little bit more time than we're thinking and he can't get 100% healthy, I could certainly see Tyler Booker be a left tackle. And you have Geno Vandermark. See, and the reason I'm saying this, it looked like Geno Vandermark in this specific photo was at left guard. So this photo looked like this. Will Formby on the right, Jaden Roberts at right guard. Center was Parker Brailsford. The left guard was Geno Vandermark. You couldn't really see who the left tackle was. I could theoretically see it being Tyler Booker just in an emergency situation to put your best offensive lineman at left tackle. Because Geno Vandermark is pretty good. He transferred here from Michigan State. Just so you have, just how you see Tyler Booker maybe working at left tackle. I don't know. Elijah Pritchett saw 34 snaps. There were so many offensive linemen that saw snaps. McVay saw a lot of snaps at tackle. So did Nyquil Bentre, the Texas A&M transfer. How would you guys feel? Let me ask you, Undefeated. How would you feel if Tyler Booker, if they put Geno Vandermark at left guard and they put Tyler Booker as an experiment at left tackle? I wouldn't be mad about it. I think Tyler Booker is versatile enough to play left tackle if he needed to. Welcome Formby did a really good job. There was a couple plays where Welcome Formby and Jaden Roberts, they pooled. There was plenty of times where I saw Parker Brailsford pool. Yo, Parker Brailsford did really good. Offensive line is good. Now, they're going to be challenged. Wisconsin, I mean, I promise you, when we are looking at this South Florida team, which we're going to do here in a second, they're better than Western Kentucky, much better. This isn't to like freak anyone out. This is fact, 1,000,000%. Well, what now? What's up, man? I appreciate you inside the comment box. Hey, Kyle, how easy, hard would it be to add players' jerseys, numbers on your graphics? It would just take a little bit of time, but I definitely could do it. I think that would even help me. I could probably like put it in the left or somewhere in the corner. Because one of the things that I personally run into, like when I'm watching film, is a lot of players, sometimes they double up a number. Like you can have an offensive player with the same number as a defensive player. So sometimes it's a little bit difficult for me too. But yeah, I mean, I edit all the graphics myself, so that's something that I could certainly play around with. I'm all about the aesthetics of the graphics, and I think it helps you, the viewer, when you're watching and when you're looking at the graphics to be able to tell the numbers so you can relay that to game day, right? I'll write that down and just see how it looks. Numbers on jerseys. Okay. It's written down. All right. Bleacher Report has actually asked me to do a show today, a live show, which is pretty cool. I'll be on at 5 p.m. Central Time on the Bleacher Report app. I'll be on each Wednesday during September talking Alabama football, probably like 30, 40 minutes. It'll be something similar to what you see here. But it was another opportunity that came up, which I'm grateful for. So they reached out to me. So at 5 p.m., if you have the Bleacher Report app, you can catch me previewing this upcoming game, talking Alabama football on Bleacher Report. All right, B Wood 22 in with a $5 super chat. Thank you, B Wood. I appreciate it. Sorry to derail the conversation, but can we take a moment to talk about Bama's first game on August 30th, 2025? It's going to be amazing. Is that the game against, all right, I'm going to look this up. Alabama football schedule 2025. Is that Florida State? Oh, this is perfect. Your super chat comes in at the best time, okay? Because you know I like to get on the Florida State Seminoles. All right, so look. This was posted by Red Morgan. I think it was on Snapchat, I think. So Red Morgan, if you rewind, he posted this message on social media recently, and he's like, it's when he committed to Florida State. And he's like, so glad I didn't go to this MFer. Because you see the wheels starting to fall off at Florida State. You know what? Jenny, what's up? Inside the house. Hey, before we get going on Red Morgan, Jenny's up in the house. Jenny is battling cancer right now, okay? Battling cancer. We have an emoji that offers support for Jenny as Alabama football fan. She's a huge Alabama fan. Met her during the spring. There's a pink ribbon inside the comment box. Can we please hit that to show Jenny that we support her, please? Thank you. Jenny, what's up? I see you. Thank you for being here. So anyways, Red Morgan posts, so glad I didn't go this effort. So think about it like this. You could wake up, there's people waking up that are Florida State football fans and are watching their program continue to trend the opposite direction. We're entering week 2, theoretically, since they've already played 2 games and they've lost to 2 conference opponents, that they're out of the playoffs. That their quarterback, they already are thinking about changing out their quarterback, their prized quarterback. Man, and just like I said, thank you for the emojis inside the comment box, undefeated. Yeah, I appreciate you guys getting Jenny's back. Jenny, we love you. We appreciate you. Keep battling. Every single day, keep battling. And I know it's easy for me to say. I got a tiny little shoulder injury. You're battling cancer. You're a warrior. We appreciate you. There's a lot of people that, have prayers and support for you. I'm certainly one of them too. Keep fighting. We appreciate you. I've said this many, many times going into the season. All these schools that are landing these recruits, Auburn, it's happening to Florida State right before your eyes. You're going to see them not be a cool school anymore, not be an it school anymore. It just takes one loss, two losses. And this tweet, right, this comment by Red Morgan, other recruits are going to see this and be turned off by what's happening at Florida State. I promise you, it's already happening. It won't take long. And it can happen to anybody, including Alabama. It can happen just like that. That's why it's so important to maintain that momentum. Florida State hasn't won a game since December 3rd. So this right here is going out to everybody. And people are going to start to see Red Morgan because he played in the game as a freshman at Alabama. And they're like, man, if he's thinking that, I don't want to go over there. I don't want to be a part of that train wreck. Yikes. Yeah, this is like the graphic that, heard around the world. 214 up in the house. What's going on? Kyle Henderson, Bama Football on YouTube. I appreciate you guys being here on Wednesday, September 4th. I hope you're having an amazing day right here on Bama Football on YouTube, previewing this upcoming matchup against South Florida, led by head football coach Alex Golesh. I was listening to his press conference. It was posted yesterday. I thought about bringing it here. He didn't really say too much. He kind of dodged, bobbed, and weaved some questions. He did say this. Now, it's interesting. He has an interesting story, and I think he's a very good football coach. This will be the fourth consecutive season that he has played Alabama. And you're like, what? Well, he was the offensive coordinator at Tennessee. Actually, the offensive coordinator at Tennessee, not to open up a wound, because I'm sure it's healed, but remember when Hyatt caught for all those yards up in Rocky Top? Tennessee won that game. Well, guess who the offensive coordinator was? Alex Golesh. Now, following that year, he goes down to South Florida, where he's done a really good job resurrecting the Bulls. No doubt. I mean, look it up. They're certainly a team on the rise in the AAC. They're a team that has a very, very talented quarterback. Byron Brown. You remember him from last season. He's big. He's powerful. He's not as dynamic as Jalen Milroe, but he brings in that same type of versatility, meaning that he can throw, he can run. Last week against Cookman, he had 152 yards passing, 78 yards rushing. And you remember what he did last year against Alabama. And I'm sure this will be part of their game plan, is to stretch the field wide and to run him up the middle. Now, good for Alabama in this 4-2-5 defensive front. The inside linebackers are the best in the country. But last year, he did a really good job. I think he ran for over 100 yards against Alabama. And we get it. And even Coach Kalen DeBoer said, he was like, last year's last year. I wasn't a part of that. But I think for the Alabama football fans and some of the players, they're like, yo, let's put it on this team. Let's give it to them. I was in Tampa last year for this game, and the fans were in it. This game was tight. And Alabama was penalized for the 17-3 victory. They were. The rest of the season, they were penalized for it. That's why I don't understand, when we're even talking rankings after the first week, why Oregon isn't penalized for a game that's close with Idaho, or Michigan, a game that's close with Fresno. If Alabama and Idaho, if that game was close, could you imagine what would happen? Just that's the standard that Alabama's held at. Oregon's not held to that same standard. I don't like it. Watch, the back end of the season, Oregon will start winning, and people will be like, oh, well, that was the beginning of the season. It doesn't matter. But if that happened in Alabama, everybody, you look to this game against South Florida, you know what? Jalen Milroe didn't even play in the game against South Florida. Alex Golesh, yeah. And look, Alex Golesh is confident. He said in his press conference, he's like, if we're at our best, I think we can beat anybody in the country. I get it. That's the coach mentality. But I think Alex Golesh comes into this game, feeling good about his squad. Really, I'm serious. I think he does. I think a guy like Tyson Helton last week is like, okay, let's see what we can do against Alabama and focus on our conference schedule. I think Alex Gollash comes in seeing what they can do, playing like the underdog, like a huge underdog. What is it? What is the line, Jarvis? 31.5? But he hasn't played Milroe. He didn't have to deal with Milroe. He had to deal with Tyler Buckner, who got the start last year. Remember that? I was catching a plane. I was in Atlanta, and I looked at my phone. You know who sent me the text? It was Toby out in Leeds. He texted me, and he's like, hey, did you see that Tyler Buckner got named the coach? I was just about to board a plane, and I went live. That's why it's just better for me just to stay here in my studio, plugging an out extension cord to run the internet. Good to go. Minus 31, Alabama. That's a lot of points. I figured Alabama. I think my final score, my score prediction for last week, I think I have it somewhere here, was like 52-3 or something like that. I thought they'd kick a field goal. Actually, now that I look about it, it was kind of close. This one, I'm not sure if Alabama wins by more than 31 points. I just think that South Florida plays a lot more ball control. I don't know. Who thinks Alabama wins by more than 31? Type Y if you think so right now. Does Alabama beat South Florida by more than 31 points? I don't know. I mean, they win this game, and they put it on them. But 31? Angel's saying yes. You guys always give me confidence. All right, so a lot of Y's. Okay. Feeling good then. If I was USF, I would be comfortable too, but I'm expecting Bama to win. That's what Jamal says. A lot of yeses. Okay, good. Yo, this team, that's why I want to start out talking about the defense. I'm starting to really like Kane Wommack. I already drank like all the Kool-Aid. Hopefully, if things don't change by the end of the season, because I've already gone all in on Wommack. Timothy has it 56-0. You imagine Alabama shuts out South Florida, two straight shutouts? Man, Wommack, that could be a guy that isn't going to be here long. Let's just face it. But we understand that as Alabama football fans. We understand that the guys coming in are future NFL coaches. This has happened for, the 17 years that Coach Saban was here, right? The weather's supposed to be great, too. So get out there and enjoy yourself. All right. I'll go full screen on this. This coming Saturday will be really cool. You're getting the field. It's going to be dedicated to the greatest college football coach of all time, Coach Saban. There was a lot of people that felt when this news got released that they should have named the stadium after him. Stadium, more than the field. To me, I actually really like this, to be honest. I like the field. And I think, for me, that's where he was with this team. That's where he built, like the ground. Think about it. The field is the foundation of the entire program. And so when I was reading the University Athletics, kind of their bits and pieces about Coach Saban, I mean, it's really remarkable. Look at this. And there's a ton of stuff missing, but these are just some bullet points that'll be brought up when they dedicate the field to Coach Saban this coming Saturday. 7-time national champ. The official title will be Saban Field at Bryant-Denny Stadium. 17 years in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. 28 years coaching. 6 titles at Alabama. A winning percentage of .806. 11 SEC titles. 21-2 versus top 10 teams. 66 All-Americans. 49 first-round draft picks. Patrick Surtain says, what's up, coach? He just got paid. And then these are the things that I like the best. You know me. I'm always kind of like, I love the mentorship. I love the off-the-field stuff. By the way, some of the stuff that Coach Kalen DeBoer is doing off the field is cool, too. Everybody saw the video with the little girl. That was cool. See, Block thinks they deserve the stadium. You see, a lot of people feel like that, too. 656 degrees earned. That's amazing. 103 master's degrees. Wow. $13 million distributed back to, different causes through the Knicks Kids Foundation. Miss Terry, really big into teachers in the Tuscaloosa area. She was a teacher. And then my favorite is the 21 homes that they built through Knicks Kids Foundation and Habitat for Humanity. I had a chance with my workout group, F3, this year to be a part of a home building in Tuscaloosa, actually in the same area where Coach Saban and Miss Terry are building their homes. And it was a really amazing experience. That was the first time that I've ever done that. They've built 21 homes, and I never really understood that. I know this may sound silly, but kind of the impact of them building like a home for somebody. But the young lady that Habitat for Humanity was building the house for when I was helping this year, man, she had so much gratitude, and she was so thankful. So Coach Saban and Miss Terry, they built 21 homes, like homes, right? And one time I asked Miss Terry, I had a privilege to ask her a question, and I asked her, why is it important for you to give back, you and Coach Saban? And she said, and I'm paraphrasing here, but she said they grew up with their parents and they gave, right? Like that was part of their culture. That was part of their family. And it could have, like, their parents didn't have much, their grandma didn't have much, but it was part of them. So I love to see how they've taken care of their community here in Tuscaloosa. And you're going to have the Saban Center too, which is cool. So the Tuscaloosa News, if you've ever been here in Tuscaloosa by the amphitheater, I guess they're going to bulldoze that, and that's going to be the Saban Center. Hey, Raphael, what's up, man? I see you coming to us from Long Island. That's what's up. Appreciate you being here. Jawan Carrick, good morning to you. Bob, I see you. It just said 806 winning percentage. I don't know if that's just for Alabama or if that's overall. I'll look into that though. Good question. Jawan Carey is mentioning Ryan Williams and Jalen Mbakwe, their new podcast. Yeah, it's called The New Wave. It's produced by the University of Alabama. So the cool thing is now for the students here, they have inside Bryant-Denny, they have an area that they're dedicating just to like podcasts and videos, even like this, for the players to get on and create a podcast or videos themselves. So definitely check it out. It's Ryan Williams and Jalen Mbakwe. You can just type in New Wave and go search it out. Yesterday I just got me some gear, truth be told, from Athlete's Thread. That's an area where you can buy different gear. I have a Jalen Miro hoodie coming in, and I have a Ryan Williams. So that's what we are discussing today on the show. I'm going to open up the call-in line. I'll take some calls on the back end of the show. If you hear a busy tone, that means the lines are taken, but the call-in line is open right now, 205-850-1994. I'll talk about any of these topics on the board you want to discuss. You can go round the horn, talk about your concern with Alabama's offensive line, now kind of the status that it's up in the air with Caden Proctor. I would say that he's not going to play, but that's not official. Yeah, Jarvis hit me up. Yeah, the hat game, I have so many hats. You know what? I was just looking for some sort of like a hat organizer because I have a small office, closet. And watch, I'll show you some of the hats that I have. I wait for you guys to call. Some of the ones that I recently have purchased, and I get them at the student store. They have so many to choose from. Here are just a couple of them that I have, and a lot like this. The older style logo is now back in, right? Oh, that's my workout hat. So I have this one. This one is from Chris Mobley here in Tuscaloosa, but I think that you can also get this at Expeditions, and see, it's a rope hat. I like that style. This one is basically, just the old school logo. It's Nike. I like the color tone on this one. This one was purchased at the student store. Oh, I have this one. I have a lot of hats that just have like the American flag emblem. It's like, this is the one I just wear backwards, like to my son's games or whatever. And then I have that tied one in black. So, yeah, 865. I think it's Angel from Pigeon Forge. Let's take it now. Angel, what's up, man? I appreciate you. Yeah, what's up, Angel? Good morning to you. Thanks for calling into the show. Welcome on in, man. Go ahead.
Yeah, the first to start off, TJ Finley shouldn't have started talking smack. And that's what happened to him. He talked smack, and he got what he deserved. A shutout, 63-0.
Yeah.
And, look, this team is dangerous. And Ryan Williams is going to be a big star one day. And I believe he's going to get a couple more touchdowns against South Florida. And they're about to find out that South Florida's going to find out that Alabama is not going to be a pushover like last year, 17-3. That's not going to happen this year. It's going to be a shutout probably. The talent gap is huge there. And Alex Golish, he's a good guy and all, but I don't see his offense or, his players make a big impact in the game really, because that game last year, I think it was a running back that ran over an Alabama player. That's not going to happen this year. And they got that probably somewhere in the locker room, that one player that got ran over or whatever. Like, that's not going to happen. And it's just going to be a crazy, crazy environment for them to, to be in, because they can't handle Alabama, especially this new defense we're running. But what do you think if the South Florida can, have a good run game and all that, and possibly a defensive plan? They really, I believe they won't really, because, it's just, it's Alabama. The talent gap is huge. So what's your thoughts on that, like, overall with the defense for South Florida and the offense?
Yeah, I think listening to Coach Kalen DeBoer talk about South Florida has been interesting, because he's not really playing on last year like we are as fans. I'm sure that the players are seeing it kind of how we are. They might not say that in the interviews or whatever, but I feel like last year, like, who's pissed off still about that game? Out of all the games that Alabama's ever played, that game was aggravating. There was so many things that just didn't go right. It was just, we can talk. Yeah, it was terrible. So I think, and I was watching the student section. They were sitting in the end zone at Raymond James Stadium, which, by the way, is a really cool stadium to check out. And they felt that they were going to win the game there for a little while. Jalen Milroe was benched. There was, so many storylines in that game. So I think the Alabama players, have a lot to play for and are excited about this early season matchup. Plus, they want to compound on the momentum that they have. I love in this last game how Coach Kalen DeBoer was able to basically empty the bench, but didn't necessarily look at the scoreboard. I think Alabama probably could have put on, another touchdown, would have got them to the 70 mark. But I think it's really important overall for Alabama this year under Coach Kalen DeBoer to really drop the hammer and to continue to let people know what's coming. Because there's a lot of people that feel that this team's vulnerable. South Florida coming in. Yeah. I think they're probably talking. I'm serious. I bet they're talking that they can play with these guys. And Alex Golish, I mean, like, he didn't really say too much, but he was like, look, if we're at our best, we can play with these guys. And I think it's important that Alabama's like, if you're at your best, you can't play with us. So what else you got, Angel?
Yeah. Yeah, and the hypocrisy is real, though, because every time Alabama has a hard time, maybe in the first half, not score many points, Oregon has to sit there and Alabama's terrible. No.
Yeah.
The hypocrisy is real, especially Oregon and Michigan, because, I mean, they struggled, especially Oregon. They're overrated, and that offense is overhyped, and they couldn't score that many points against Idaho. Come on. The Idaho Vandal Potatoes. I mean, come on. They have a huge talent gap, and then we'll sit there and look at Alabama. Like, the hypocrisy is real. It's just it's annoying, because I can't stand Oregon, because same thing with Florida State. Like, they feel like they're entitled to something, And in the last 10 years, they haven't done much. Especially what happened to Oregon against Ohio State in 2015. They got blown out.
Mm.
I mean, and it's just, yeah, it's still night, but they haven't been relevant like Alabama has been. And they're just upset and mad because it's Alabama. But that's all I got for today, Kyle, with the rants about Oregon.
Right.
They're overrated. They deserve that spot at number 7 or wherever it is.
Well, I appreciate you calling in,
Well,
Angel.
day,
I'll catch up with you next, man. All right, see ya. All right, my good buddy Angel calling in from Pigeon Forge. We got a 770 and a 417 coming up next right here on Bama Football on YouTube. Yeah, I mean, Angel hitting on the same thing that I hit on earlier in the show is that Alabama's held to a different standard when they play different teams. I mean, they beat Western Kentucky 63-0. They're supposed to beat them that bad. Western Kentucky keeps it close. My goodness, you never hear the end of it. But Oregon not held to that standard, maybe because they haven't won at the highest level like Alabama has and been kind of on that same platform. But Dan Lanning I think he likes to pretend that they have. So that's kind of, I just thought, man, the score against Idaho, people will forget about it at the back end of the year. I won't. I'll be talking about that all season long. So get used to it. 770, what's up? Who am I on the line with and where are you calling in from?
Hey, Cal. Jimmy Williams. How you doing, buddy?
Jimmy, what's up, man? Where are you calling in from?
That's 770 number, but I live in Birmingham, Alabama.
All right. Cool, man. I appreciate it. All right, we got Jimmy calling in from Birmingham, man. Welcome to the show. Come with it.
Hey, man, first of all, I want to say, man, you always rocking the gear. Man. You be rocking the gear, brother.
I appreciate it.
I got to give that to you.
Yeah.
Hey, but I'm going to tell you, man, a lot of folks said Nick Saban, didn't really care about his players. But, I mean, you got to think about what he's done. He's graduated players. The championships. I mean, I think he's a player person. And that's why he always rants, But I think that statue that he has and everything that they're doing for him, man, he deserves it. All the championships we got there. So, I mean, Saban, he's the GOAT for a reason. And I think he deserves everything he's going to get, him and his wife, Terry. They're doing stuff for the community. So he deserves the best, man. And I think Coach DeBoer is going to do the same thing right behind him.
The only kind of gripe that I have about this is that I think Miss Terry deserves some sort of a statue. Not, not a huge statue, but like some sort of, I don't know, some sort of bronze something for her contributions back to, I'm serious, she's really taking care of Tuscaloosa. A lot of the things behind the scenes, she's remarkable.
There's a lot of things that, we don't know when it comes to that, but every time you see her, she's always doing something for the community as well.
Yeah.
And she deserves some type of trophy, a plaque or something
thank
somewhere.
You. Yeah.
In the hall or in the director's office or something.
Yes.
She deserves it just as well, man.
Mm-hmm.
She's a great person. And like I said, I think both of them, of course, Nick Saban has done everything for Alabama, and he deserves the best. And, hey, still got an office there. So how sweet is that?
Yeah, and I like the fact that, like, even with College Game Day, which, by the way, I can guarantee you their ratings are now through the roof with the addition of him. I like that on the College Game Day bus that they have Coach Saban in his crimson blazer.
Yeah.
Like, they're not trying to change him. Like, look, he's Alabama, so keep it that way and let him be who he is.
Exactly. That's true. You made a point there, too. So I just think I think we're in good shape again with DeBoer. And I'll be honest with you, if everybody can probably chat in and give a prediction of this score with South Florida, I'll give you my prediction. I'm thinking probably like a 56-7 or 10, and I'm giving them 10 to be nice because I think the defense is faster. They're kind of all over the field now, which is good. And I think we're primed for this year. And Jalen keeps doing what he's doing. I think he'll get the Heisman as well.
All right, Jimmy. Well, I appreciate you calling in from Birmingham, man. Please call again next time. I appreciate the dialogue, man.
Hey, I'm always on your show, listening every day and putting my chats in. You're doing a great job, Kyle. Keep up the great work, man.
Thank you, Jimmy. Have a nice day.
Yes, sir. You too. Bye.
All right, we got a 417 coming up next right here on Bama Football on YouTube. I appreciate you guys live on Monday at 10 a.m., Tuesday 9 a.m., Wednesday 9, Thursday 9, Friday 9, Saturday, game time, Sunday, kind of a monologue, if you will, giving my take about the game, like 10 things you learned or something like that. I can't wait for this coming weekend, this Saturday. Just the weather's going to be good. You start to get to the middle of September. You got Wisconsin. Look, I know it's a one-game mentality, but I'm looking forward to the games on the schedule. I'm excited for the Wisconsin game. I'm excited for the Georgia game. I'm excited to see this team go on the road. I'm excited for this team to play Vanderbilt in South Carolina. All the teams. All right? I love college football. All right. 417 is up next. Hey, what's going on? You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who am I on the line with and where are you calling in from?
Hey, Kyle. It's Timothy. I'm calling in from Washington.
Timothy, what's up, man? I appreciate you calling in from the state of Washington or like D.C.?
Oh, the state of Washington.
Okay, all right. So have you been following Coach Kalen DeBoer for quite some time, or are you just up there recently, or what's your take, man? Timothy, welcome in from Washington.
Yeah, I'm a huge Bama fan. I've called to the show like last year a lot.
Okay.
I'm originally from Bama, but I'm a trucker, so
Gotcha.
I go around everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
But dude, like I was so happy when Kalen DeBoer got hired. His offense is it's mind-boggling. Like the way that he's an offensive mastermind and he can get that offensive line to shift and to switch and confuse that defense is just amazing to watch. And we saw that come to fruition, in his debut because and all these talk show hosts, they say, oh, it's Georgia this, Georgia that, Ohio State this, Ohio State that, Caleb Downs this. But what they don't understand is Alabama has the second, maybe the first recruiting class in 2025. They ain't going nowhere. They got Kane Wommack at that 4-2-5 defense. That defense is going to swarm like they did that Saturday. I'm looking forward to that Georgia game and that Oklahoma game and that Tennessee game.
Mm-hmm.
Wisconsin gonna get the brakes blown off of them too. They ain't nobody. They almost lost to that FCS team that they played. It was 28-14. So it's just everybody talking about Georgia this, Georgia that. That Clemson game, I was watching it that entire game. That first half, Georgia could have been behind by 20 points if Clemson had a better quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
With that being said, Georgia's defense it's a lot better, but Ra Thomas is off the team, so they don't have to worry about him anymore.
Yep.
But I think Alabama got Georgia once again this year, and sorry, Georgia fans, but y'all gonna have to cry about it.
I was watching the Georgia and Clemson game. We're on with Timothy calling in from Washington. The first half of the game, I have to say that Clemson's defense, they look pretty good. I think even Kirby Smart at halftime was like, their defense is good. Now, they made adjustments, and I think the talent gap separated in the second half, and Georgia's able to run away with that game. I do like Carson Beck. I mean, the guy, nobody talks about a quarterback who nearly threw for 4,000 yards. I still need to see more from their wide receivers, but they clearly got guys on defense. They're good, and they have a really challenging schedule this year. I mean, you look to the fact that they go on the road to play Texas. They go on the road to play Ole Miss. They come here to Tuscaloosa to play Alabama. So those are 3 challenging games on the road. By the way, let me ask you, and I was going to do this tomorrow, and I'll probably do this tomorrow with the graphic, but just for the sake of it. So the game of the week is Texas traveling to Ann Arbor to take on the defending champs, the Michigan Wolverines. I would imagine that an overwhelmingly amount of you take Texas. If you're choosing Texas, type T inside the comment box. If you're taking Michigan, type M. I would imagine that people taking Texas. All right, Timothy, what else you got, man?
Yeah, that's this game. I think it's gonna be a lot closer because I think everybody has returned to that Michigan defense. The offense is a little sputtery right now. They'll figure that out with the quarterback situation. But I'm kind of taking Michigan. I'm leaning toward them because it is in Ann Arbor, and their fans go freaking crazy. It's one of the loudest stadiums in all of college football. But going back to that Georgia thing, no one a homer, or I must sound pretty biased, but I see Georgia as a 3-loss team this year. It's a hot take for sure, but they got Ole Miss, and Ole Miss is just on that defense.
Hey, Timothy, you're kind of cutting out, man. We'll catch up with you next time. Timothy, be safe on the road, man. I'm sure you're driving or something like that. But Timothy with a good call from Washington. Appreciate you. Timothy, I think, was leaning kind of towards Michigan. I would be surprised if Michigan does. It seems like, the majority is going for Texas now for this coming game in Ann Arbor. I'm taking Texas as well. I need to see a little bit more of Michigan, but Michigan has a lot to play for, right? Their new football coach, they're at home. They didn't play well last season. Floating out, on the top 10, people not buying into them. People starting to look to Ohio State to be able to run the Big Ten. I don't know. Look, USC looked good to me. I get it. It's one game sample size. That quarterback, I loved how he moved his feet in the pocket. I love their wide receivers. I love their defense. I don't know. I mean, USC looked really, really good. And I don't think LSU looked bad. I know I got a lot of flack from people having LSU still in my top 10. I thought that was a great game. And somebody said LSU or USC just, ran through LSU. No, they didn't. That was a good game. It was back and forth. I thought USC was going to go and kick a field goal there at the end, and they actually scored a touchdown. But I thought that was a very even game. LSU was good. They're a good team. USC is better. All right, 205, you're up next. Hey, what's going on? You're online with Kyle Henderson. Who am I online with and where are you calling in from?
Trent from Birmingham, Alabama.
Trent, what's up, man? I appreciate you calling in from Birmingham, man. Come with it and welcome on to the show.
Oh, yeah, man. I just want to say I love the show, and I know yesterday you hinted at just a little bit, but how awesome was it seeing so many different players hit the field with, the injury bugs we've seen over the last 5 years, and then we had to let these new players come in that minute, and they're not ready because they haven't had game time yet.
Yeah, I really liked it. I mean, that was something that, for all the great things that Coach Saban did, I mean, he kept his guys in, and that was that. I love the rotation and getting a lot of these guys in, and I think it does more than just give them experience. It also makes them feel part of the team because you are contributing. Maybe you're a backup guy, or maybe you're on the 3 deep and you get a pick 6 or something like that, or you're in on a play where you get to celebrate with your teammates. There's a difference from celebrating with your squad on the field, like from Oski, right, interception, than it is from the sideline, 100%, right? Hey, I was on that play. I was on national TV. So I like that aspect about Coach Kalen DeBoer. Plus, this season, more than any season, you're going to need to go all the way to the 3 deep to be able to make a run for the national title. So off to a good start. I know, small sample size, but it's enough to get excited about because of all the guys that got in. Plus, freshmen are playing. Ryan Williams, 2 catches, 139 yards, 2 touchdowns. Xavier Brown, 35 snaps at corner. Jalen Mbakwe, over 30 snaps. Caleb Odom, 23 snaps, 2 receptions. I mean, I love it. I love to see those young guys eat. It's part of what makes Alabama fans excited about not only the team, but excited about the future of Alabama football. What else you got, Trent?
Yeah, I just want to say, I love Nick Saban, loved all he did for Alabama. But I just think, last year we didn't have the best, offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator. Mm-hmm. But I think Kalen has really brought in what is going to hit on, making Alabama the best offense with Jalen Milroe they can, the best defense that we can have. I know, Saban was a defensive-minded coach, but, there was only so much we could do with who we had last year. But I think this year, it's not going to be watch out, Georgia. It's going to be watch out for Bama. Bama still has the SEC in, 8 of the last 12 years championships. So let's look for number 9 this year.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, this team certainly trending in the right direction. I just love the defense. That's why I wanted to kind of hype them up today. You get a shutout in college football, and I know there's a lot of teams who had shutouts, whatever. I just thought the speed of them, the way they're able to, get so many guys inside the defensive line, like James Smith. You guys have been talking about James Smith a lot. Jermaine Lathan, LT Overton, my goodness. Like, this team has guys on guys, and to see them all getting in on the defensive side, I like that swarm defense mentality. Anything, Trent, that you want to hit on as well?
Yeah, man. I was just, when you get down, like, they got close twice, right? They got close, very close to getting an end zone twice. It was nice not to see them let up.
Yeah.
They kept attacking the ball. They kept attacking the running receivers. Them getting their heads around, looking for the ball when it's in the air. It got better last year, and it's been good in the past, but then, it kind of slipped a little bit. A lot of penalties. We still had a lot of penalties. We had 6 in the first half, 1 in the second half. I'd like to see that come down, obviously. I mean, a lot of that was on offense too, but, just the depth and the corners and the linebackers just getting their heads around when the ball's in the air, know it's coming towards them, and staying on the gas and not letting them just get an easy 6 points just because they're, inside the 20.
I appreciate the call, Trent. Thanks for calling in, man.
Yes, sir. Roll Tide.
All right, Roll Tide to you. Hey, if I didn't get to you today, call back tomorrow. I'll have the call-in line open on Thursday and Friday. I appreciate you guys, calling in when I do open up the call-in line. Thank you so much. I always look forward to catching up with you guys right here on Bama Football on YouTube. So the back end of the show will always be where I take the calls. And when you see this call-in line pop up, definitely give me a call. If you're a sponsor out there and you want to sponsor the show, nmpreps@gmail.com. There's tons of viewers on the show, and it's only going to crank up as we continue to move forward right here on Bama Football on YouTube. As I close out, kind of something that Trent was hitting on, you look at the snap counts, and this is a labor of love. I do all the graphics, all the details. Somebody asked me to put the numbers on. That's something that I could definitely try to do as well. But I go in depth on every single position. So, for example, Damani Jackson, 40 snaps. He was targeted 0 times. He had 1 tackle. Xavier Brown, the F stands for freshman, 35 snaps, 2 targets, 1 tackle. Jalen Mbakwe, 26 snaps, 4 targets, 4 tackles. Deshaun Jones, a transfer in, 12 snaps, 2 tackles, 2 targeted, and 1 tackle. Zay Mincy, 19 snaps, 1 target. So I do this for every single position. There's a lot that goes into it. I appreciate you guys hanging with me and supporting the product. Here's the inside linebackers. Deontay Lawson, 49 snaps, 9 tackles. Jahad Campbell, 46 snaps, 9 tackles. 9 plus 9 is what? 18, right? Just like 4 plus 2 is what? Answer inside the comment box. Justin Jefferson, inside linebacker, 35 snaps with 2 tackles. Jeremiah Alexander out with the undisclosed injury. Justin Okoronkwo in with 5 snaps, and Caden Jones in with 12 snaps as well. I have the whole list on the video that I ran yesterday, but kind of just showing you a snapshot. I know there's a lot of different places that cover Alabama football. Please go support them. I'm trying my best to kind of elevate my own platform. I run in my own lane. This is what, I do. I love to talk Alabama football. You can also find me on Spotify. Just type in Bama Football on YouTube. Also on TikTok, Facebook. All the news comes here, and then it's circulated out that way. But I appreciate you guys being here. The schedule for the rest of the week, you got, I have a feature tonight kind of wrapping up with an assistant coach. That'll be on probably around 7 or 7:30. And then you got Hey Coach on Wednesday. Thursday and Friday, I'm on live at 9 a.m. And then, of course, during the game, you're watching it right here on the watch along right here on Bama Football on YouTube. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much to everybody out there that might be going through something. My prayers and my thoughts are with you, and I hope that my positivity spills into you. Be good people out there. Be good to each other. I appreciate you guys being here right here on Bama Football on YouTube. I hope you guys have enjoyed the show, the style, the format. I put every single thing of my heart into the show right here on Bama Football on YouTube. Oh, yeah, in Bleacher Report today, live at 5 p.m., they've asked me to come on and do a segment talking Alabama football. So each Wednesday in the afternoon on Bleacher Report as well. Kyle Henderson, Bama Football on YouTube. One more time. Could I get a Roll Tide? I love you guys. Thank you very much for being here. Stay blessed and catch up with you soon. New outfit drip coming tomorrow on Thursday, September 5th. Getting closer to those score predictions. I'll catch you soon right here on Bama